My name is María Almena, and I'm a multidisciplinary and visionary artist. I'm a regular here at Breaking Convention. I usually present a live performance, which this year it couldn't exactly happen. But I'm going to be talking about my latest research and showing a little video here. I'm always super happy to be at Breaking Convention, catching up with old friends and meeting always really, really interesting people. So yeah, I'll consider myself a body sculptor and a shapeshifter. I've always been very fascinated about the power, transformative power of the arts. That is something that I've applied to my own personal journey. And then the older I've grown, the more I felt I needed to pass on this information and these therapeutic purposes to the audience that my art is reaching. So through the transformation of my own body, and I started to explore and recreate characters from other dimensions that could give access to different dimensions and different kind of feelings and opportunities. So this is myself as different characters that I've been represented throughout the years. And I've always been interested in tech, although I'm not a tech artist. I always work with technical people. I cannot get my brain around that, actually. But I always like to see technology more as a magical medium than anything else that allow me to represent my concepts and ideas more precisely and even kind of more representing better what I've got inside my head. So in 2012, I started Kimatica Studio with my life partner, Nestor Rubio. And Kimatica Studio is a creative studio that explores the intersection of interactive technology, live performance, and the human form to create transcendental experiences. So that was kind of, the new project in 2012. In 2012, we created this first series that we call Contemporary Rituals. And it came to me after a strong ayahuasca experience as a vision that what I had to do. So I even didn't know that technology it was actually available, or even how to do it, no idea. But yeah, it came to me the idea it was to allow the performer to be able to control the lighting. Therefore, creating more organic and experiences, not only for the audience member, but also for the performer, who in that case, back in the days, it was myself. We performed this piece in 2013 here, actually. So this is all inspired on shamanic rituals, because I got very inspired on my ayahuasca experiences, and that took me to do a lot of research on ancient and traditional shamanic experiences. So we did a few series with this theme. This was 2013, Buto. It was Eon, 2014. And then in 2015, we give a little shift to our work, starting creating our first ever installation piece. We call this Relax and Release, and we intended to put the audience on the forefront of our research, allowing them to be the performer themselves, to create therapeutic experiences to allow the audience to connect with their physical bodies. Pretty much that. That was also another idea that I thought in our Western society we all need to relax and release more, and how to create experience that could facilitate and enhance this. So we've toured around this quite a bit. And there's some of the experiments we've done with our wearable technology that we, just some experiment with lasers that I'm really interested in how it can help to dissolve the human form and just make it into light sculptures. But yeah, the focus of my talk today is going to be Transcendence, which is our latest performance. It's a research performance, and it's the first project of this kind, which is multidisciplinary research. So this again, it came to me as another vision in one of my ayahuasca experiences, and it was, I felt I had the mission to bring to our Western society experiences, transcendental experiences, and I thought like, how could I get the mainstream into this? Because most of the people here, you're already in tune, you're already actually, you're already doing your own work. But most of the mainstream, people, they don't have the discipline to meditate. They are too scared to take psychedelics. And I thought, okay, my angle is going to be to create experiences, entertainment, really, because everyone in this society loves being entertained. So how to, through that angle, I could get them, to actually look inwards and just, feel a bit themselves in it. So yeah, that's how I had the question. Obviously it's a research project and I don't really have quite yet the answer. I've been researching for the last 2 years. But yeah, how through live performance and interactive technology you can create an experience that can take the audience into an altered state. And really, obviously, altered states, they've been pursued by humans constantly through our known history, from ancient shamanic rituals to the perceived presence of psychedelic in modern culture and the arts. So obviously our culture attraction of transcendental experience is undeniable. But we are living in interesting times because I feel with neuroscience, research, they're really trying to understand the cognitive processes of what these experiences are, what actually does to human, can they have a beneficial effect? And for me as an artist, I'm not a scientist, but for me as an artist, like using that scientific research, I feel is backing up, my art research again to almost like convince those, most of the people that they would only to validate, my intuition and validate the work I'm doing. And I feel because of that, we're living a very interesting moment where those people that they truly believe in science, they're going to have to believe us now when we start to, do all these facts and data. So that's kind of why I wanted to, put myself into the frame of doing a more scientific research, which is not really my field, and I'm like, getting to see how I do it. So yeah, this is kind of a word map that I created about what it was transcendence, and really that the altered state, the technology, the rituals, and the live art. And I'm trying, in my research, I'm trying to combine all these key concepts. So yeah, combining scientific, anthropological, and psychological research with visual art, interactive technology, and live performance. That's exactly, and we've been, now we just done our third development. So I'm going to be talking today through some of the key concepts of this research and relating them to a particular piece, a particular life experience that we just did a few months ago in a theater in London. So yeah, one of the first things I've started to do is to explore traditional techniques of achieving these altered states. And I was thinking which ones are more relevant to be translated into a performative experience, really. So I was like finding very interesting hypnotherapy, meditation, dance trance, light therapy, shamanic rituals, and sound. And that's the ones I've been focused mainly my research on. So yeah, let's define altered state of consciousness. It was interesting because when I started to do my research, I was like, okay, no one really totally agreeing what is consciousness yet. So I was like, ooh, an altered state, it's not okay. It's only one of the, this is one of the definitions that I liked the most. So it's temporary change in the overall pattern of subjective experience such that the individual believes that his or her mental function is distinctly different from certain general norms of his or her normal working state of consciousness. And that's why in our performance piece, one of the things that we realized it was very important to do it was to achieve the journey from the real world to the subconscious. How do we represent this transition, you know? So we started, she's one of our main performer, so we started to have some kind of like city sounds, something that, you know, reminds you when you are, you know, on your normal life. And slowly we were like transmutating, you know, those, the sounds and then also trying to use a normal type of lighting and slowly, you know, transmutating into something more kind of, you know, that it doesn't look real. So we were just using, she was doing live singing, and we were using an MEO, armband that it will allow her to control the sounds of her own voice in real time. Again, to allow the performer to feel the room and to know, you know, if they want to push one part a little bit more, if they want to do something else first. And that was the first time we were using it. We are still kind of new on the interactive sound element, but it definitely, from the point of view of the performer, she said like it really helped her, you know, to feel like she was really making magic, you know, on that moment. So yeah, another interesting thing is how the non-altered states the body separate the body experience from the mind experience. And you know, I think everyone that have been on those states, you have this association, you know, from your own body, and that allows you almost like to go freely. It's almost like your physical body restricts yours, you know, in some sense. So when you have the feeling of, you know, not having those restrictions, endless possibilities. Yeah, so I think that's one of the things that I really want to represent more. And so yeah, with Kimatica we're trying to do, we always say like portals to other dimensions, and we, through, you know, how to do that, we've you know, in our experience with this piece, we saw that it was very important to connect people with their senses, you know, creating a sensory experience. And you've seen the lights and kind of the visual elements of it. That's something we've been doing for many years. But yeah, we wanted to try also to include taste, which we did. Yeah, taste, sense, and touch. Has been still I haven't touched it yet, because it's like in a performing piece. It's interesting also culturally. You know, it's like, ooh, you're gonna touch something. How? Just touch someone. How are you gonna do it? And in a performing context, I'm still exploring that. But definitely, sense and taste is something have shown really high impact, because they are all more like kind of soul experience. When you eat something, this is you, you know, and your own body. And again, when you smell it, you know, it kind of goes through your whole body. And you know, audio and visual, they are like a kind of more external input. So yeah, we were creating a ritualistic space where we were inviting everyone that were coming to see it to be part of our cult, and just to, you know, to kind of like welcome, yeah, why not? Welcome individually also, to give that sense of like caring, you know. I mean, that's what happened when you do rituals actually. Shamans, like, they individually say hello, you know, and like just to create that intimacy relationship. So yeah, another of the important concepts that I've been exploring in transcendence within the arts. So how a work of art can enable one to be transporting, going beyond the limits to a place of accessing one spiritual side. That's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I'm trying to achieve. And it was interesting to find that it's kind of a romantic approach to art that I felt we lost it, you know, with all the conceptual 90s, you know, things. And then it's like, I feel I want to reclaim that, you know, within the art scene, how actually the most important thing within an art piece is like when it touches you know, touch your feelings, and it can connect you to the spiritual and emotional side. We do need a lot of that in our Western society, so I feel that's the mission for the arts. Yeah, so this is some of the scenes where we were exploring dance trance, and with in combination with interactive projection mapping. You're gonna see it in motions later. Yeah, and then taking that romantic approach to the art, new media art came, like technology, new technology tools came, and for me, it really have give us, like, to artists, like many other new avenues to explore this how to achieve a transcendental experience. And there is many other artists, it's interesting to see there is a movement on that within the art and within artists that are working with technology. And I feel, because again, it's really the mission of artists nowadays, to bring those experiences to the general public. Yeah, so that's another of our characters that we, this, for example, it was done by body casting. I casted my own face, trying to freeze an emotion, and in that case, it was like scream, and it was like, again, trying to show this transformational journey, which is never easy, and it's never steady. It's like. So yeah, ritual art, ritual performance that intend to heal, sculpting the consciousness of the spectators, exploring the idea of energy exchange between audience and artist. For me, I always say that the biggest ritual I've ever known is being raving. That's been like the first a ritual that has been with me since I was a teenager. Only, on my 30s, I started to explore like proper shamanic rituals, ancient rituals, but I consider them to the same level, really, because any ritual, that helps you to create an experience with an intention, that's pretty much a ritual. I feel it is important to have this intention, and that's why one of the most important things for our performance is have to create a ritualistic space. And I had to start to figure out what was that, how, like, people, they are together, the togetherness, very important, the guide, very important, safe space, also very important, a fire, or, an element that makes the kind of the center of this ritual. Yeah, so that's one of the elements that we are bringing to our performances. Yeah, so we've been exploring some of the artists who explore performance art as contemporary rituals to get into trance in their pieces. They can lose all concept of time and feeling. They can even feel the energy shifting with themselves and trying to transfer this to the audience. Again, on my research, it was like, there is no pretending. The idea is not pretend that the performers pretend we are doing a ritual for the audience. The idea, and what is happening, is like the performers are actually doing a ritual for themselves, and because of they are, living, they are going through those transformational moments, they pass on this to the audience. Yeah, we worked with a shaman in our latest performance, Anthea Duran. She specialized on sound channeling. And we got her involved in the project, so she will come and open and closing the doors to other dimensions. She got the power to connect with dragon forces, and she does all through the drumming. And that really created a powerful, for the opening she does it with the drumming, for the closing she does it with bells. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so that was very powerful to have her, and we had in our feedback session, we had incredible, comments on that particular moment, of really getting into some epic cosmic spaces. Okay, got 10 minutes. Oh my god. Okay, turn. Yeah, techno arts shamanism. I guess that's what we are doing. Carl once told me that. I was like, "You're doing techno shamanism." I'm like, okay. I guess because, and for me, obviously, it makes sense. I mean, I've started to research more on the role of the artists and the role of the shamans, and how, and obviously, shamanism is represent the most widespread and ancient methodology system for mind-body healing. So it made sense to use that. Also, it's not associated with any religion, so I really like that element of, you know, of like somos free by itself. So yeah, obviously the use of technology for me, it makes sense because it's part, you know, of our society nowadays, and it's really embedded now and really, if I was thinking, if I'm trying to create a message that will engage our contemporary society, there's definitely technology has to be involved, you know. And we always try to hide our technology because it's not, we don't want to break the magic. Actually, I like to induce, you know, wonder, and like people, they try to figure out how we do things. Some of the techie guys, they always come to us, like, you know, asking us for questions. But in general, we really try to always kind of, keep it hidden. So yeah, this relationship between the shamanic artists. So I consider myself a shamanic artist because my intention, you know, is like the shamans to heal the audience and heal the artist, myself through the creative process. But yeah, I also, you know, all the concepts that I engage with, they're about the unconsciousness, archetypes, divinity, collective unconscious, paranormal realms, entities, the inner world, and the spirits of the sacred, which is totally what, you know, the shamans do. This is another image of our latest performance. We try to use different sources of light. At first, for us, it was all about projection mapping. Now we are very excited about lasers because it's like the brightest and the purest light the humans can see. So, you know, it's really hypnotical, and you know, I feel, we're worshipping the light. So we got on a scene that you will see later. So yeah, light therapy of mantras. There is, we got Luciana. Luciana with the Pandora light device. It's an experience that is around. Always been intrigued by the light therapy power. You know, it kind of stroboscopic flickery that produce a visual stimuli, creating kaleidoscopic patterns of colors and psychedelic imagery. So we are working a bit with that in our performance. There is lots of like strobo lights, just to access to that the subconscious space through that technique. This is another thing which is not in the video because I'm showing you the video of the second sketch, but again, that was quite powerful in this stage because the smoke fills the whole space. So really, you have the performer here, but like it reaches you. It really kind of almost like creates a cocoon space. Yeah, and then mantras. We've been using mantras all around. We use mantras all around the experience. Now I've started to think, we should definitely get the audience to do some mantras. Again, how to do it without becoming maybe too workshopy, but like, I don't know, I'm still figuring out how to do that, but it's definitely good. I wish you could, you know, people will just do it naturally, just like repeating what is happening, but people not do it that way, so I'm you know, trying to figure out which other ways I can encourage people to do so. Yeah, as I was talking before, interactive technology and magic. Nowadays, the use of digital technologies has resulted in an experience of multiple hyper-realities and multi-directional processes, helping to represent the complexity of the different layers of the perception and human consciousness. For me, I really see, you know, this existent relationship between ancient magic and the use of contemporary art technology. I guess because, you know, magic, when you don't understand something, or maybe you don't understand the science behind it, lots of people, they say it's magic, and that's how I feel sometimes about a lot of technology, and I feel most of the people will feel like that because only a small percentage really knows how things work, and I think actually that's a good thing, because, you know, it's still, you bring people to this wonder space. and you know, dreaming like space, and you're creating dreaming experiences that can be that they are turning to a reality because they are obviously seeing them in front of their eyes, you know. Yeah, so I was saying one of the main technologies we use, body mapping tracking technology, that allow us to use the information obtained by the computer vision analysis as an input for the algorithms that generate visuals and sound, which are affected by the gesture of the performers. And again, we've done I guess now there is many different technologies you can use, and people keep asking me, like, oh, you're gonna use that or that, and I still really, for performance point of view, I really like body mapping technology because it just allows the performer to have control amongst many things, and it really creates this instant interaction that the audience can see, and therefore is like truly directly engaging, you know? So I think we're sticking to that for a little bit more. Some of the images with the body mapping technology. And yeah, I feel I already talked about immersive because I'm running out of time. I think I'm just gonna talk about the data and then show a quick video. So yeah, I guess it's a research project, so we are trying to see how we're gonna obtain data. So we are exploring how best to measure the impact on the audience and researching specific software and hardware that will help us to analyze the impact of our experience. We are looking at like different wearables to do that. Yeah, at the moment that's something in September we're gonna do the first attempt to like register the data of like people that come to our performances. So we'll see how that pans around. So I guess I would like to close it with that really I'm trying to create these like transcendental experiences to connect to modern audiences, to reconnect our Western society with the missing spiritual and magical thinking. And I think I'm gonna play the video, which is 5 minutes, hopefully.